Hi. Happy October. Happy Halloween. It's not Halloween yet. I hope not by the time you see this. But it is October. Happy October. Happy thriller month, bitch. Happy spooky month. Happy creepy stuff. Happy everything that is good. Okay? I hope you're doing okay. I hope everything is going good for you. Everything is going great. I hope you are happy, and I hope you're having a good timepiece. No, what is it? A good period of living. I hope you're a good life. Question mark? Hi. All I mean is, I hope you're okay. And I hope that life is treating you really, really well and kindly, and I hope a lot of good things are happening to you. If not, I hope a lot of good things are coming your way. That's what I mean. This is the time of year where I personally feel most attracted to thrillers. I love psychological thrillers. So, what better month for me to recommend a shit ton of thrillers, a shit ton of mystery books that I absolutely loved, and I think you'd love too. The first book that immediately popped into my head when I wanted to recommend some psychological thrillers is The Secrets of Us by Lucinda Berry. I read this a while ago and I have never talked to you about it. I've mentioned it on my TikTok, but I still haven't mentioned it here, which is weird because I was super excited about it. It follows two sisters, Nicole and Crystal. They're not actually biological sisters, but they grew up in the foster care together, which created this bond that is very, very, very special, and you can definitely feel that through the book. So one day when Nicole is admitted into a psychiatric ward for attempted manslaughter, she tries to end her husband's life. Crystal just drops everything, goes, and Crystal is a lawyer, if I do remember correctly. And so begins this back and forth of us trying to figure out if Nicole is actually mentally ill, if she actually tried to end her husband's life, and just what the heck is happening, because as we go along, secrets just start emerging and things just start coming about, and we start figuring out things about the sisters individually and them together, and secrets just keep flowing over and over and over and over and over again, and I absolutely loved it. It kept me on my toes. It kept me on the edge of my chair all the way through reading it. I wanted to figure out what the heck was happening. I did not figure out what the heck was happening, and when I thought I did, I was wrong. I got close, but I was still wrong, which is surprising because I like figuring things out. Because Crystal is a lawyer, we get her POV throughout the entire book of her just trying to figure out what the heck is happening. We don't know who to trust. We don't know whose POV is the actual right one, the actual correct one. But the plot thickens when Crystal, after trying to figure out just what the heck happened to her sister, finds out something that they both share, secrets that they both share, and the plot just kept thickening and getting juicier and juicier and juicier, and I just loved it so much. It's definitely page turner, definitely a slump ender, and it's very, very fun. If you're looking for more short stories, more a collection of short stories, or if you are really into a reading slump, like really into a reading slump, short stories will guide you gently out of that slump, my dude. Then try out Silence in the Winter by Silver X Bishop. This was given to me as an ARC. I haven't spoken about it, but I liked it so much. It is a collection of short thrillers, spooky, scary stories that works amazingly for October, for the fall, for Halloween. Now, I've rated this one 3.5, and I didn't like all of the stories. It is like a collection, and I didn't like all of them, but the reason why I'm adding it into this video, the reason why I feel adamant about recommending it, why I'm still vehement about the rest of the stories, is because they make up for the ones that I didn't like, which is subjective nonetheless, but they make up for it amazingly so. The last story in this book I still remember in immense, vivid, visceral details. It is called The Crimson Dress, and I loved it so much. It is so freaking realistic. When you read the entirety of the book, it is the last story in the book. When you read the entirety of the book and you see that everything is slightly urban fantasy, it is slightly fantastical, it is slightly paranormal, you wouldn't expect the last one to be the way it is, but it was extremely realistic and very, very tangible and very just here, which made it so much worse, but also so much better. They were just thrilling. They're the kind of stories that just made my heart physically actually race. It made me get all giddy and it made me get all restless, and I just wanted to flip and flip and flip and flip and know what the heck is gonna happen, and I got immediate satisfaction because they are short stories. Next up, we have Dear Wife by Kimberly Bell. I loved this one. This is a recent read. Gonna binge a lot from the author. I hope they have a lot under their belt. I haven't checked. This was a murder mystery thriller done to perfection. It has multiple POVs, but the main, in my opinion, POV follows Beth Murphy, who is on the run after living with domestic abuse, and just the domestic abuse on its own, trigger warning. I personally, from what I know, I think it was done well enough. I think it actually was one of the best that I've ever seen. It was not romanticized at all, which unfortunately is a plenty in any other form of media, not just books, especially not books actually, but unfortunately it is something that is extremely romanticized. But in this one, it was just realistic to a T, my dude. It was like, it physically would put you or put me personally into a place where I just wanted to escape, and it is triggering and it is very visceral, so keep that in mind. We're also following another case of Sabine Hardison, who is missing, but the thing is, we don't know who's who. We don't know if they're the same person or not. We just don't know what the heck is happening, which I loved. I just wanted to know. Granted, by the end of the book, I figured it out because of some little phrases spackled here and there, and I was on full alert trying to figure it out, and I get defendant when I can't figure stuff out, and I'm on full alert. So I was like catching everything, and I was able to catch a phrase and figuring out what actually happened and did happen. Yet I still loved this one so much. We are following multiple cases, we are following multiple POVs. The more we know, the more we this bond between them becomes aware to us, becomes more prominent to us, and then this bond is fickle and it is frangible and it's all over the place, and maybe we are wrong, maybe it feels like you're there, and it feels like you're actually trying to crack this with these characters, or you're there supporting these characters. It kept me so freaking excited and on my toes the entire book. I absolutely loved it. Then we have Keep Your Friends Close by Lucinda Berry. Again, this was such a mess. I loved it so much. It was like watching reality TV. Well, it was genuinely like watching the most dramatic, ostentatious reality TV, and I loved it. This one though was the mixture that my brain needed. It was the mixture that I've always wanted between books and between the most stupidest, corniest, sluttiest, dramatic, unfucking tangible reality TV, and I loved it. This follows a bunch of moms who are in Hollywood. They have a club, and it's actually called the West Hollywood Moms Club, and they're all fucking stupid rich and stupidly freaking ostentatiously annoying and so pretentious, and I hated a lot of them, but I loved hating them. Yeah, I loved the fact that I'm hating them. I'm a hater, and I loved that. And one night they have their own little kind of indoors Oscar awards party for the best mom or whatever the heck they're doing, and they're doing it in a mansion, and the bitch turns up dead. And then we're following 3 different POVs, Brooke, Whitney, and Jade, and we don't know what the heck happened. We don't know who did it, obviously. We don't know if it's one of them, if it's not one of them, if it's an inside job, if it was a life end attempt. We don't know anything. And throughout the first, if we split this book into 3, okay, throughout the first part and second part of the book, it's good, it's exciting, it's fun, it's funny, it's just something so different from what I usually read, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless. And then the last part, my dude, when I tell you, I did not see that coming at all. Murder or life end attempt, or not that, okay? Not that. Everything else surrounding it. Oh my Lord, help me. Everything else surrounding it just was so freaking messy, so chaotic, and all over the place. I just kept going, what the heck? It felt as if the author was just throwing shit together or just slapping random ass plot twists against a wall, and it worked. That's the thing, it freaking worked. I don't care if they did it actually that way. I wouldn't be surprised if the author actually was just drawing from a hat and adding it to the plot. Swingers, yeah, let's add that. And it worked. It was just fun, and it was just messy, and I loved it. You can see how the investigation takes a toll on them. You can see it in their speech from the beginning to the book to the end. You can see it in their behavior and their characteristics. You can see it in the way they respond to each other, and I liked that so much because it was very much well done. Next up, we have The Big Decay by Eric Williford. I have never ever read from Eric Williford. This is my first time, definitely not going to be my last. Loved this one so much. This was given to me by an ARC, so thank you so much for the publisher and people that gave it to me as an ARC. I binged it so fast. I had the best of time reading this book, basically. Loved it so much. The first story, Honora, is my absolute favorite. It takes the basic, although very much loved, the basic haunted doll and obsessed writer into a whole different level. Loved it so much. My favorite story in the book is 100% a cliche. It follows an author who randomly comes upon a doll, and then the author slowly starts losing their sanity. Love the characters, love the story, love the plot twist. The author managed to pack so much into the first story that was just, it's like pages long. It was not long at all. It was so easy to finish, so easy to go through, and so intensely exciting and so fun to go through, and I loved it so much. At the end of it, I was surprised that I loved the cliche so much. It's a collection of 3 stories. The last story was my second favorite. It was called Read My Book, and I loved it so much because it was a sort of, in my opinion, but it felt like Stephen King's Misery, except I enjoyed this one more. We start off with this crazy ass bitch cleaning her home to a T. The description of the home, the way the setting is set, is done so well. It is creepy, it's spooky, and it's so easy. It feels easy for the author to write this way. It felt easy. It didn't feel tiring to read. It didn't feel draining for my brain to come up with the imagery that follows the writing, and I loved that so much because it just made me focus on the story and the plot and just immediately lose myself into the setting, into this crazy bitch's apartment that is filled with dolphins and smells like citrus, and I loved it, and it's still stuck into my head. And then she's waiting for company, and company comes, and there's this bitch who was in high school or college with her, and then she ended up being like a famous author and leaving their hometown or whatever, and the bitch that is obsessed with citrus and dolphin and blah 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 that is inviting her over is wanting to be a writer and wanting to get some sort of advice, and then one thing leads to another, and it's Misery. Loved it so much. Did not expect that, and then I wish it was longer format. I hope and wish with all of my heart that the author would make this into an actual full novel, because it would be so freaking thrilling. I wish. Next up is a book that I recommended, part of a series that I recommended for Halloween last year, and I'm still blessed. I'm not gonna recommend the same book. Pets, it's part of their story. Okay, so it is called The Kind Word Saving by Peter Swenson. Loved it so much. Lily, in my heart, in my soul. If you haven't read the first one, The Kind Worth Killing, follows a dude who meets a random bitch in the airport and she convinces him to murder his wife. The plot? Chef's kiss. The execution of the plot? Chef's kiss. The characters? Chef's fucking kiss. The progression of the story? Chef's kiss. Does it continue in The Kind Worth Saving? Yes. My favorite is The Kind Worth Killing, but I loved this one as well. Loved it so much. We are still following Lily Kinter, which is it just brings me so much joy because I love her so much. I don't know what is it about her. Maybe the red hair, maybe the green eyes, maybe the murder tendencies. I don't know what it is about her, but I just love her so much and I relate and I love her, okay? She's smart, she's witty, she's funny, she's exciting. She is one of my all-time favorite fictional characters. This one, however, follows Joan. We still, again, have Henry Kimball and Lily Kinter, but it follows Joan, who goes to Henry, who's working as a private investigator. Henry, who we've met in the first book, who was a detective, is now a private investigator. We get to learn what had happened to him. It follows through absolutely beautifully. One day, Joan goes to him and he recognizes her as a former student, and she asks him to follow her husband for a little while to prove that he is cheating. But then one day her husband and his side chick are found dead in a very peculiar way that just does not add up. Henry asks help from Lily, and so we have our beautiful duo again, and I, again, loved it. I didn't expect it to be so big, the plot. I mean, it doesn't just follow Henry Kimball and Lily and Joan as a side character or as an addition or the main suspect of everything. It is so much more than that, and it keeps going back and forth between Joan's own personal childhood and upbringing and Lily and Henry, and I just loved the balance of all the POVs. They worked beautifully, smoothly, and it was a ride, honestly. The book is split into two parts. The first part made me almost want a DNF, but trust me, if you feel the same way, if you give it a shot and you feel the same way, just wait for part two. It gets so much better and it just gets fun and exciting, and I loved, like, the second part 100% just made up for every annoyance that I got through the first part. That's it. Those are some of my favorite mystery thriller, psychological thrillers that I've read recently. I'm always taking recommendations and I'm absolutely in love with this genre in general. So if you have any amazing books that you think I'm gonna like, that will have my heart racing, the more visceral, the more thriller-y, the better, just drop it in the comments and I will try to read them. Other than that though, thank you so much for watching. I love you. Bye.